I'll wait for the recording.
We're good.
Oh, we're good? Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the special meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors. It is Thursday, March 13th, 1 p.m. We will call this meeting to order. First order of business is the invocation and pledge of allegiance. I will ask Supervisor Poitras to lead us in the invocation. And
Very good. Thank you, everybody, and thank you for the opportunity. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and pray. Father, thankful for this great day, this great opportunity that we have to work together with our partners at Madera Community Hospital to move forward services, medical services that through you will heal and treat and serve our community. We thank you for the steps that have been taken up to this point, and we're looking forward to that day the hospital opens. We ask that you would guide our steps, guide our thoughts, and always cause us to seek your will. We ask in Christ's name, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Public.
the next item is public comment. The first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for the members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take action on any items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record. Do we have any public comment?
None online.
Oh, not on there. Yep.
Just here, Arturo Martinez on behalf of the Office Attorney Caballero.
Thank you for being here. Item 3 is discussion items. Item 3A. I'm sorry, Arturo, were you going to say something or? Sorry.
Oh, no, just.
You're just here.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for being here and appreciate that.
Behavioral Health Services Department, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution to operate Casa Grande as a clinic for mental health, substance abuse, and or co-occurring disorder and supportive services for fiscal year 2024 through 2027.
And 3B. Or are those together? Separate.
Those
They're
are
separate.
two different items.
So
3A is separate and apart from 3B.
Okay. Got it.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Art Galindo, and I'm the Interim Assistant Director with Madera County Department of Behavioral Health Services. And today I'm here to speak on the resolution. The county, through its Department of Behavioral Health Services, has entered into an agreement to lease the Casa Grande Motel located at 12390 Golden State Boulevard, Madera, California, consisting of 37 units and one standalone office from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2027. The Madera County Department of Behavioral Health Services will use the Casa Grande Motel to meet the needs of Madera County Department of Behavioral Health Services clients who face housing instability, homelessness among people with severe behavioral health conditions. Madera County Department of Behavioral Health Services clients will be able to remain in these units for a duration up to, but not limited to, 6 to 12 months, depending on their individual plan of care. The goal will be to provide stable temporary housing with supportive wraparound services while an individual is locating, applying for, and or obtaining permanent housing. A signed Board of Supervisors resolution is required so that the Department of Healthcare Services may certify Casa Grande as an authorized Medi-Cal site in which to provide and bill for specialty mental health and substance use disorder services. The costs associated with this agreement will be funded by Medi-Cal reimbursement, and there will be no impact to the county's general fund. If there are any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Do we have any
Thank you.
questions, comments from the board? Supervisor Rogers.
Yes, the way this is worded is a little confusing to me. Are we operating Casa Grande or is Casa Grande operating as? Because it says adopt a resolution to operate Casa Grande as a clinic for mental health. Have we named a building Casa Grande and we're going to operate it? Is that what it is? Or
Actually, it's a temporary housing in which they're able to provide mental health services out of. So it's a site certification in which to bill for services provided on site.
so is this is somebody else though?
This
that
will be
we're-
through a contract provider through.
Yeah,
through the
that's what I'm
department.
saying.
Yes.
The way it's worded, it looks
Oh.
like something else. So anyway, I just wanted to clarify because I'm sure somebody else had the same question. So it would be to adopt a resolution um, to partner with Casa Grande in this operation, right?
County Council, do you want to chime in on that?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I do see in the recommended action and potentially the title here of the resolution, I think the body of the resolution is a bit more clear in that behavioral health services will use, in the whereas it's use the motel to meet the needs of behavioral health services clients.
Okay.
And the motel will be used as a certified site, but on the end, it does say behavioral health services will select a provider to provide these mental health, substance abuse, and other services in the hotel. So I think the wording could have been better on the agenda and the title, but I think the resolution makes it clear as to what our interim.
Yeah, I understand it
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
I do.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
So since this is a certified, since it's going to be a certified site, is this open to patients all throughout the state, or is this just here locally? Where are the
This-
patients going to be coming from?
These will be for all Madera County residents.
The only Madera County residents? Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Art, we have received several complaints about the operations out there. We have forwarded those concerns over to behavioral health. I know Julie's still new, but we even had public comment as early as this last board meeting about some of the conditions. Are those being addressed?
Yes, we have followed it up and we've taken that information and we've established weekly meetings in which to discuss and follow up and any and all those concerns, as well as ensuring that all of the residents have that direct contact with case managers so that we can address those immediately. So we are actively working on improving that in terms of response.
So that's in regards to the services. We've also heard complaints about some of the conditions out there regarding safety, heaters, whatnot. Is that being addressed as well?
Those are all a part of that meeting so that we can bring those back and that we can ensure that there's follow-up, whichever route it needs to go.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any, or anyone else?
One more question. I'm unfamiliar with where this is. Can you help me with that?
Yes, this is located right off of Golden State. So just heading south towards Fresno off of 99, Highway 99.
Is it on the west side?
Yes.
Okay, now I know where it's at because I've seen it. But I was just unfamiliar with that's a fairly clean place over there. Pretty nice place.
They've been working to improve it. We've been working closely with them.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Do we have, are you done?
One
Sorry.
more question. Is there a plan to notify your other cities in the county and county jurisdictions about the location of this facility, the opportunity for them to send people there? Will you be developing such a plan?
Yes. Yeah, we've been through our sites, each site, like through Oakers Counseling Center, through the Chowchilla Recovery Center. This is available through all of that. So all of those clients who are receiving services, they are eligible to be a part of this.
Okay, thank you.
And Madam Chair, members of the board, I would also add that we have been in communication with Madera County Superior Court along with the public defender. And because it's a part of the care court CARE Act services that began late last year in terms of where we might house folks that qualify for the CARE Act. And so at least with those partners, they are aware and we've recently exchanged information about the procedures and policies, and they were grateful to have what the department has put together.
Thank
One
you.
last question. I'm
Supervisor
sorry.
Rogers.
I
No,
keep
go ahead.
thinking of things as we talk here, and it's just kind of interesting. Is this a live-in program?
Yes, this is, they are living there,
I
residents.
thought it would be because of being a hotel, but I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Hey, at this time, I will open it up to public comment. Do we have any public comment on this item?
None online?
I'll bring it back to the board.
Move to approve.
Second,
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley.
yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes,
Vote passes 5-0.
thank you. Item 3B.
Sheriff Coroner's Office, discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with Madera Community Hospital for morgue services and authorize the chair to sign.
Good afternoon, members of the board, Madam Chair. Lieutenant Blem with the Sheriff's Office. I'm here I apologize in advance, Sheriff Pogue wasn't able to make it, so I'm here on his behalf. Also present with me is Lieutenant Ian Weaver and Coroner Sergeant Jeff Thomas. And I'm here to present to you the proposed MOU between the Sheriff's Office and Madera Community Hospital for the Coroner's Office to serve and provide morgue services to Madera Community Hospital. To simplify the agreement, as you know, the coroner's office is typically tasked by the government code to investigate the cause and manner of deaths that fall under certain circumstances. To simplify it without complicating it, it's pretty much any death that occurs outside the attendance of a physician. Where we run into alternate scenarios at hospitals is deaths that occur when a patient is admitted, for instance, in the ICU, and they have been attended by a physician. The hospital currently and has never, to my knowledge, had the ability or a morgue facility to store those particular decedents who do not fall under the jurisdiction of the coroner's office. This agreement helps the hospital rectify that situation for the time being, in that the coroner's office would take custody of those decedents' remains and assure for their appropriate and final disposition. As you read in the MOU, and I should note, I apologize, the original MOU that was submitted, we found a small error in that. That error was the wording indicated financial responsibility would lie on MCH only in cases where the decedent's remains needed to be transported out of county. We amended that to reflect the cases where decedent's remains still stay in county for final disposition. And I have brought freshly signed copies for you today, as well as additional copies for anybody in the public who might want to examine them. And in essence, that is pretty much the scope of the agreement. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
Do we have any questions from the board?
I do have some questions for hospital staff.
Wonderful.
Good afternoon.
Stephanie, thank you so much. My question was related to, is this a requirement of CDPH for you guys to open?
Yes, so since the hospital was built, it never had a morgue, as Lieutenant Blem had mentioned. What we have found during our reopening strategy is that there's Title 22 code, which is one of the governing documents to operate a hospital, requires a hospital that exceeds 50 beds in capacity to either have a morgue with autopsy facilities or local resources available. We've also learned that if you're larger than 100 beds, you must construct a morgue. So because the hospital has never had a morgue, what CDPH, we believe they will allow us to do in the interim is to have this MOU ratified by the Board of Supervisors and the county. and they will provide services, as the lieutenant mentioned, while we spend time to design, develop, and construct a morgue of our own. That's the fastest way to reopening without a morgue. And so that is necessary for this to move forward to reopen the hospital.
Mr. Stark, can you state your name for the record, please?
Yes,
Thank
sure. It's Steve Stark. I'm the CEO at Madera Community Hospital.
you. Thank you.
And regarding this MOU, what would be the timeline for reopening?
You know, that's a great question and a trick question, perhaps. We still have to satisfy 3 additional requirements. We believe we have done that. Following today's meeting, if approved by the board, we will have a meeting with CDPH and indicate that we have now evidenced an MOU with the county. We believe that will finalize every outstanding item left to satisfy the state to allow us to have a license. The challenge and the reason I have to be vague about the answer is we get an okay from the district office in Fresno, and then they have to route that decision to Sacramento to the licensing branch of CDPH. And we know that they're all eager to allow us to open. So we are optimistic that we would be open by Monday or Tuesday of next week. But there is a chance that the submittal of this MOU and the other 3 outstanding items, they may not accept or they may need modification. So I can't pin a date down exactly, but we are gearing up to have shift start Sunday evening for night and graveyard with an opening of Monday at 7 a.m. That's the plan, but it is subject to move.
Gotcha. Thank you. And, you know, there's been considerable cooperation with, you know, the hospital, state legislators, local governments. And I know there's been a discussion regarding a particular representation on the hospital board from representatives of the county, which ultimately represent the people, right? And so I wanted to ask you or anybody from your staff regarding board positions and what your thoughts are on that.
So yes, we did have a discussion last night, not officially at the board. So I don't want to speak on behalf of the board, but in my conversation, I did recommend that we allow the Board of Supervisors to designate a role, perhaps the chairman or vice chairman or whoever, whichever supervisor you see fit to have a seat on the board to act as a voting member, but also as a liaison to the county. So I did make that recommendation, and it was well received. So I think the plan would be to move that idea forward and actually ratify that decision at a board level, possibly as early as April or May.
Okay. And does anybody else want to speak on behalf of that, or is that?
Deidre's our board chair. She's welcome to if she'd like to add to that, but
He summed it all up pretty well. Okay. Because it is important to us and it's important for the community to, you know, we can advocate for things you guys may not necessarily be able to do, but you know, it's a community hospital and it affects the health of everyone in this county. So I would county council, if you would put together an MOU that could be ready by March 18th regarding board positions, because I do believe it's important, and I know it's important to my colleagues as well that the county is represented on there as well. So if we could get some language by March 18th, is that doable?
Yeah, Madam Chair, members of the board, that is doable. I'm happy to put together an MOU based on this conversation that the Board of Supervisors would make a recommendation for an appointment to the Madera Community Hospital, the Board of Trustees. I'll figure out the language on the back end. My one question that'll help me create something that works for all the parties is the desire for the board to make an appointment of their selection or keep it to a member of the Board of Supervisors?
I think and
Go ahead.
let me know if I'm off base here, but either a board member or someone appointed by the board.
Okay, we'll make it flexible. And the timeline that I'm hearing is for the board to consider this at their next meeting next Tuesday, March 18th, but to allow the Madera Community Hospital Board to take action on that MOU by the end of May.
Yeah, just to clarify, I'm not a board member, so I can't speak on behalf of our board. However, the recommendation that I made, I just want to be clear that it's slightly different. It was to recommend a member of the Board of Supervisors as a seat on the board. So the MOU, would have to be vetted out by the board. And, so that is a little different than what I had proposed to the board.
Okay, well, we can come up with some language and figure it out on our end. Obviously, we want to do something that's mutually agreeable and that we can
Right.
put forward.
Hello, I'm Deidre De Silva, Chairman of the Board of Madera Community Hospital. Like Steve said, I'm just a single board member. He's not a board member. So we certainly can't speak for the entire board, but we can bring forward something that you recommend. And the way we would see it working is best would be if it were a Board of Supervisors member. We were grateful to have Rob for many, many years. He was a blessing. And we just see that arrangement working best. But you can come forward with how you see it. And then, like I say, we'll go back to our board and vet it out between them. But I don't want to make it seem like, we've already agreed that this will happen and so on and so forth. You know what I'm
Understand,
saying?
yeah,
Okay.
from our perspective, it would be our proposal to the board.
Okay, perfect. And then we can either see that in April or May, depending, our schedule.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.
Anything else?
No, that'll be it.
Anyone else?
Chair, can I?
Madam Chair.
Can I make a comment real
Sure.
quick?
You're right.
Thank you, Deidre, for being here. Steve, I just want to emphasize that, this board has been a great partner with the hospital in good times and in bad. And so I think that would show if the board chooses to invite one of the Board of Supervisors to serve as a member of the board. And I want to stress the board of at the hospital board, not necessarily the advisory board. I think you guys have some advisory board in the works as well, but I want to emphasize that it would be important to this board to have a seat at the executive level. So would really appreciate that. I think we've shown time and time again that we've been good partners, and so that would be very much appreciated. And I'll hand it over to CAO Varney.
Thank you, Chair. The only thing I would suggest to our board in drafting their proposal over is if you select a board member, I would do a quote unquote permanent board member, not a position, because the chairs rotate each year. And this is something that I'm guessing be best for the hospital and for us to have somebody who's there minimally 3 years, if not longer than that. So just for the board's consideration.
Absolutely. Thank
I'd
you.
like to address that. I think that's a great thought because continuity in a technical role like that. I sit on the Regional Health Authority and I've sat on there for the last 16 years, going on 16 years. So it's there are so many acronyms, so many details to learn. It's a steep learning curve for anyone. And it's an important thing that you be coexistent with all that information. And I think continuity is going to be very important there.
Madam Chair.
Yes, County Council.
And I just want to clarify, the board can't take action today either for Brown Act purposes, but it relates to the cooperativeness of the agreement with Sheriff's Office and the morgue and the hospital's anticipated grand reopening. So what I understand is we'll draft an MOU. I'll get it drafted for addition to the March 18th agenda for the board to consider a voting member of the board of directors of Madera Community Hospital, not an advisory board type level. And that would include an alternate. And
Right.
we'll work on the wording of whether it's a board of supervisors member or someone of their that they designate, and for a term of at least 3 years.
I'd say 4 years. Myself, I don't know how the rest of the board feels, but I feel like it ought to be a 4-year term.
Do you have any terms on your board of trustees bylaws or policies? Just curious. And then
Yeah, so what I recommend is maybe you and I can work, because we do have bylaws. So, we do have to adhere to bylaws. So,
Right.
So if you'll give us, we can work together and just make sure we don't get in conflict rather with our bylaws.
Right.
We can do that. But whatever the term is, we would have no objections. I don't think, again, I can't speak on behalf of the board, but we wouldn't, we treat this, I think, as more of a relationship and to have a liaison from the county supervisors on our board, but you would be subject to the same, bylaws that every other board member is subject to.
Right.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Madam Chair. I'll work with the CAO and Mr. Stark.
Thank you. Do we have any other supervisors want to chime in? Do we have any public comment on this item?
None online.
I'll move to approve.
And Madam Chair, I'm sorry to interrupt, but does that motion include the updated MOU that was
Yes.
presented
Yes.
today?
Thank you.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley.
Yes.
Chair Gonzalez.
Yes,
Vote passes 5-0.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
We look
Um,
Thank
forward
you.
to your opening.
With that, that concludes the meeting. We will adjourn.